Hey guys, it's Matt Miller with American Wire, and watch Vivek Ramaswamy destroy CNN's Jim Acosta live when he tries to bait him into attacking Donald Trump. And that seems to be always what CNN's strategy is when they encounter Vivek Ramaswamy. They know that he's smart, they know that he's very sharp, but the tactic that they always resort to is trying to turn him against Donald Trump and get him to admit that Trump did something wrong. But watch how Vivek turns the tables on him.
That is not the basis Trump, for a prosecution.
What about Trump making these threats and making these kinds of inflammatory comments about the judge, about the special counsel, and so on in some of these cases? Do you defend that? Should he knock that off?
So I'm not familiar with the specific nature of which inflammatory comment you're referring to or not. He's clearly deeply aggrieved by the fact that he's being prosecuted through 4 separate cases that have arisen at the same time in the middle of an election. Again, from my vantage point, I would make very different judgments and would have made very different judgments than Donald Trump. But that is a different point than saying this should be criminalized. That's where I'm at. So I'm not in this to defend
he says, I'm coming
Trump
after
or anybody
you if you're
else. I'm
coming
in this
after
to
me.
defend the nation.
But you've heard him say, you've heard how he said, I'm coming after you if you come after me. I mean, you've heard that, correct? Is that appropriate?
I mean, if he means that he's going to file a motion, if he means he's going to file a motion to dismiss, then he should absolutely file a motion to dismiss, which I think will be very embarrassing for the prosecutor and, frankly, very embarrassing for the entire
you don't think that that's
law
what he means
enforcement
when he
apparatus,
says that?
if that's indeed granted.
But you don't think that's what he means when he says that?
I'm going to be very honest with you. I have not.
Isn't there a threatening undertone there?
You've clearly studied every word. Look, I'm going to be very honest with you, Jim. I have not read the specific tweet or social media post that you're referring to. I'm running for president. I'm looking at reviving our economy and declaring independence from China. I'm not parsing every social media post from every one of my other candidates. But broadly speaking, my whole point is there's a difference between a bad judgment and a crime. And the moment that we conflate
a lot of crimes
the
start
two,
with bad judgments,
that
don't
is
they?
the moment that we have a threat to liberty.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay, but if you actually have to have committed a crime to be prosecuted for one. So making a very bad judgment as a politician, that's a basis for a voter to make a decision. But that's how we've got to do things in the United States of America. We have to let the people of this country decide who actually runs the country, not a federal administrative police state. And I just think that sets a dangerous and deeply problematic precedent in this country. And that is why I've been so vocal against it. That is why I'm clearly committed to pardoning Donald Trump if he is convicted.
But you said earlier you would wait for the facts to come out. If there are some big surprises, you may reconsider that.
My assumption is that the worst statement of the facts, the most favorable version of the facts, is in the indictment. In 99.9% of legal cases, that's exactly how it works in the United States. And I said that on day one when I made my commitment that that was my assumption.
So honestly, Vivek is way too smart for these CNN talking heads, and especially Jim Acosta. Trump made Jim Acosta look like a clown so many times I lost count. So many examples where he would just turn his question against him. And Jim was trying so hard to stump Trump and get him on the back foot, but it just never really worked. I mean, the guy is kind of a laughingstock now because of how badly Trump would burn him. And Vivek is just as witty and sharp as Trump is. And in this situation, Jim Acosta is trying to get Vivek to say that Trump's tweet is threatening towards the judges that are trying him in the case. And Vivek comes back with the perfect response, which is, look, Jim, I'm busy running a presidential race. I don't have time to comb through every single one of Trump's tweets like you do. You pathetic loser, basically. That's your job. You go comb through his tweets and try to cry about him and whatever. Vivek's got better things to do. I thought that was an amazing response, and it made Jim look silly again. I mean, this guy just can't get a break. He's trying to take down these MAGA Republicans, and even on his own show, it should be his home turf and his own home field advantage, but he still gets wrecked. And even entertaining Jim Acosta's question, he says, look, Trump could have meant any number of things by that. You're trying to make it sound as bad and as dark as possible. But you're really grasping at straws here, and you're filling in a lot of blanks that you don't really have all the information for. So, I don't know. To me, it seems easy, relatively speaking, it seems easy to just turn these CNN talking points on their head, and because they're so weak and flimsy. And maybe they're used to fooling their viewership with this stuff, But when you actually bring somebody like Vivek Ramaswamy on, you really can't get away with it, right? He's going to take you down, and that's what we saw here. And to Vivek's credit, he ran his entire presidential race, and he never really got into the mud when it came to going after Donald Trump, right? So he wanted to distinguish himself from Trump, and he said, I'm different, and I would have done things differently in this situation. But he was always very respectful, which is good, and that played very well. Whereas DeSantis and some of the others didn't do that so much, right? Vivek walked the tightrope of being very respectful of Trump and not aggressive towards Trump, but also distinguishing himself as his own candidate and showing how he was different than Trump. And I think that has left him in a great spot post the Republican primary, where now he is a fan favorite, and he's highly respected, highly esteemed, and people still love him because he did not create an adversarial relationship with the guy that we kind of knew all along was going to be the Republican pick, Trump. So anyway, let me know what you guys thought of this clip in the comments. Did you think Vivek did a good job? If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.